So my question to you today is, what do you do with your photography after you've taken it? Hi there, Spencer here again. Today I thought we'd talk a little bit about maybe some things that you might want to do with your photography after you've taken the photo. I'm a photography teacher here in Southwest Florida, and a lot of my students, I always like to ask them throughout the process when they're taking their photos, what is it you like to do? Do you just want to put them up on social media? Do you just like to email and share with friends and family? Are you trying to do it as a business? Everybody's got a different answer. So usually this ties into if they want to make prints and go on the art show gallery or on the art show circuit, or if they want to go in a gallery type setting, then that's going to determine what kind of camera generally you might want. Because, for example, if you want to make great big prints, you want maybe a camera with a few more megapixels. If you're going to be shooting just for online, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing, then maybe you can just work with your cell phone. If you have a smartphone with a camera already built in, you're ready to go. So it's this kind of a neat thing. I knew when I switched to film, and specifically 8x10 film, about 2 years ago, that my goal was to always make big prints. And I looked at all the different digital cameras, and they just could not get me to that size with the digital camera. I'm talking 40x50 and bigger, even 80x100. So for me, that's what made a choice for me to go into this 8x10 film, is I use the camera as a tool to get me to the end of my goal that I want to do with my projects. So buying a brand new camera that's $5,000 or $6,000 is not going to make anyone a better photographer. It just gives you more options. So I have seen some amazing photos come out of cell phones. And a friend of mine, she's been even recognized by National Geographic, and she has shot some of her stuff with an iPhone. So it can be done. So I thought I would share some of the things that I have done in the past, and might give you guys some ideas of maybe something you might want to do with your photography, other than just sharing it online or emailing friends and family. Sorry, the bugs out here are we're starting to get into the late spring, and the bugs are starting to get a little bit more prevalent. So anyway, so I got a couple of things here I thought I'd share with you today. Something that a lot of people, if you're just getting started, something you might be interested in is getting one of these art portfolios. They come in different sizes and things like that. This happens to be an 8x10, one for 8x10, or might be even 8.5, 11, I believe. So you can take, your photos and just print things out like so. And this is everything I have shot. Well, I should say mostly everything I have shot with my 8x10 camera, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the reason why I print these is, as I go through this, I can see how my photography is doing over time. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Is there something I could have done differently in another one of these scenes if I want to go back and visit that place again? So, it's just kind of a check for myself. But again, if you just want a cheap option, you can get like one of these like at Michael's or any kind of art supply store, or B&H or one of those types of places. So this is really a great option if you just want a little something to get started. There's probably, 20 pages in this, so you probably could get 40 photographs in here. So this is a nice option. And if you want, you can even take the spine out and you can design a spine, and there's a little directions on this that comes with. It tells you exactly the dimensions. So if you want to build something in the computer, then you can slide. You just open this up flat, slide out the spine. The spine should come out. There you go. And then you can slide your own spine in there. And so it's a nice little piece. So whether it's for yourself or if you're going to go meet with a potential client, this is kind of a nice little starter way to go. Now, let's say you might want to delve into starting to maybe sell some of your photography. Wouldn't that be great to actually get some money back from the investment that we've put out for lenses, cameras, all that stuff, the computer? That's why a lot of people don't realize, especially wedding photography or event photography, you give the client a price and they have a sticker shock. Well, they don't realize you're showing up with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gear, and then you got to go home and you You may have a computer that costs a couple $1,000s. If you're using software, which I'm sure a lot of people are, I don't know if too many people are doing darkroom stuff. That's a very small niche nowadays. So the software costs money. Your time costs money. The fuel to get to and from these things costs money. So it's people just don't realize that that's cost. Everything costs. So anyway, so something I had an idea to kind of get started after doing that portfolio is I thought about greeting cards, and I was a pre-press manager for 20 years, so I was familiar with different types of paper and things like that. And we had this one in the business called C1S, which is coated one side, is what that stood for. So I looked and looked, and I could not find that paper anywhere. And there's one place I found the special paper, and I wanted to do a cartwheel. Well, half a cartwheel, so you would have figured out what had happened. The rest fall on my face. So anyway, so I decided to do these 5x7 little greeting cards, and they're glossy on the outside and they are blank on the inside. And this is nice heavy stock. I'm sure you can hear it. It's not some wimpy little paper. And I did a lot of researching. I finally found a company that offers this paper, and the company is Red River. So if you go to redriver.com, and I'll put all these little show links and things for you down in the comments section or down in the description down below, so you can check them out. Nobody's paying me to tell you this stuff. This is what I've researched, and it's worked for me, and it's cost effective. So that's what I'm here to do, is to help anybody that wants to have some ideas to market your photography or try to make a few extra bucks on the side. So anyway, so this is basically what I have done is I put my photo on the front, and then on the back I have my logo and of course my information and the name of the photo along with the location. So to hand these out might be a little, here you go. This will be however much you want to charge. That might be a little strange. So what I have done is I went and bought, so here's the card and the inside. I went and got some envelopes off of Amazon, so you can get those real cheap. And the bags, I would recommend you get from a company called clearbags.com. And again, I'll put that link down below. And the reason why is you want to get the one with the protective enclosure, is what it's called. And what they do is they put the adhesive on the bag itself, not on the flap. And the first batch of these I bought from Amazon, the actual clear bags. And what I ended up having to do was to cut the flap partly off of the adhesive and then reseal it. And what I ended up doing is I said, well, since I have to reseal this, why don't I take another marketing approach on this? So I got some label material and just designed these labels. Again, it has my logo, email address, that kind of thing on here, so people can contact me. And this is a nice little gift. If people want to buy something small and don't want to spend a lot of money, this could be $5 or less, depending upon what you want to do. So this is really a great option. So these are just some, plain old greeting cards that are 5x7. They're ready to go. All the person has to do is they can write on the inside, throw a stamp on it, and of course, wherever they're going to send it, and off they go. One thing that I will mention with this paper, if you want to look at it, you can get it pre-cut to, in this case, this would be 5x10. Is that right? So this paper is so thick that you're going to want to get it pre-scored. And scoring is this little fold line that runs down the middle. And if you don't, what will happen is, because I've tried this, is when you go to fold it, it will crack. Meaning the paper, instead of bending, will actually break. And that's no good. So you want to get it pre-scored if you're going to be doing a lot of these, and if you can find it in bulk. I actually went to Amazon and bought a machine there. You stick the paper in flat, and then you pull the handle, and a die comes down and actually puts the crease in the paper. But Red River does sell this pre-scored as well, so that might be the way to go. But I have a great big printer. I have a 44-inch wide printer, so I cannot put this size sheet of paper through my printer. It's too small. So I actually have to print on a 8x10 or 8.5/11 sheet of paper. print this out, then I trim off the excess, and then I run this through my score, and I use what's called a folding bone, which has a very strange name. But basically, you put it's like a, I don't know if it's actually made out of bone or not, but basically you can get them in an art store. And all you have to do is take it, and it's very, very smooth, and just run it right across here. They're like $1 or $2, they're cheap. And that will really give you this nice crease. So that's another option. So this could be, again, if somebody's looking at your work and they want to buy something, but they don't want to invest a lot of money, this could be an option. All right, so then I thought, well, if the greeting cards are going to do well, maybe I should put a gift pack together. So this could be another marketing tool for your photography. So what I've done is I bought these blank white boxes on Amazon to hold the 5x7 cards. The only downside is you got to buy 100 of these in one shot. I've not yet found anybody that and I did not want the clear top. That you can go to like Clear Bags, again, clearbags.com, any of those types of things, and get ones with clear tops, and then they'll have a cardboard bottom. For me personally, I did not like the clear top, so I found a company that did have the paper top. So that's what I like. So then what I did is I went and got some label material at the office supply store and created this label. And I made the label a little extra long, and the reason why is so that when you put the label on, it will come across and it will seal the back side. So this way, see, nothing can fall out. So, okay, so this is the front, and I did this as a collection. It's called Florida's Waters. And so I took some scenes from my film photography, and I took 6 different ones and I put them on here. And I went ahead and put the name of the photo, and put on here that there's basically 6 cards with envelopes. They're ready to go, and of course my logo, contact information, things like that. So it's actually cheaper for the customer to buy this per card than it is this. So that's the way I've set it up. And a lot of people have bought these and sent them all over the country as gifts, and it's done fairly well. And again, this is a pretty affordable price point for you as a photographer, as a creator, to make something like this. So this might be something you might want to put in your arsenal as a little gift box. So again, it's all, you can make it with your inkjet printer at home or a laser printer as far as the labels go. So anyway, so that's that. Now, if you want to sell some prints, this is something that I have also done, and I try to get something that looks classy. And if you've ever been to any kind of art show, you know, I call them traveling art shows, where you have the tent and everything, you have probably seen some of these. And what this is again that company Clear Bags. You want to look for something called a show kit on their website. And what that does is they give you the pre-cut mat, they give you the backing board, and they give you the bag to put it in. So this is ready to go. And again, this is a very affordable option. If you've ever done framing, you know how expensive framing can be. So this is very, very affordable for, again, for us as photographers and creators to market our photography. So they come in different sizes. You just want to look to see what there's 2 sizes you'll see on the website. The first size is for the size of the opening of the actual photograph. And then the second size you will see is for the outside dimension. So for example, this is an 8x10. Even Mr. Ant likes our photo, isn't that nice? So this is an 8x10 opening, but the outside dimension is 11x14. So the nice thing is when a customer comes by, or a client, prospective client, and they say, oh, I would love to buy this, but then I got to spend all this money having it framed. Your rebuttal to that is, oh no, this is 11x14. It's a standard size. You can go to Walmart or the dollar store and you can get a frame very, very cheap. So that kind of ends that discussion real quick. So anyway, so this is really, really nice. It keeps everything, if you're in a dusty environment, maybe if you have to do a show outside and it's dry, blow dirt and everything all over, you can go home and just kind of wipe these down and you're ready to go. Protects your prints. Now the other thing I have done, just to kind of make it a little bit more special, I don't know if this is going to come out in the video or not, but I put a certificate of authenticity. Again, just found a sample certificate and just kind of changed it to what it is I wanted to do, and found this fancy little border and put on here, for example, the title of this one's called the Boca Grande Lighthouse. Many of you have seen this photo before. And I put the print size, it says medium and substrate, and I got down photography, archival ink and paper, the year it was produced, the print number, and the edition size, and then kind of my process, and then I sign it and date it. And of course I've got my email, telephone number, and all that kind of good stuff, and I have a P.O. box. So there you go. So this is going to be a great way to do that. You can get these, I think, as small as 4x6, so the hole would be 4x6, and you can get them as big as the opening to be 16x20. And I bought a lot of those too. Now those, the opening is 16x20, the outside dimension is 20x24. So that was a really nice presentation for somebody who wants a larger print but doesn't want a massive print. Again, 20x24, they can probably go to like a Walmart or someplace like that and get a frame for a few dollars, and it's not like custom framing where it's going to cost a lot of money. So again, I think the certificate of authenticity gives a little extra something. So this is a little bit more of a premium product. So if somebody who really likes your work wants to invest into what you're doing, again, don't forget to sign and number your prints. That also limited edition prints. So I use a archival silver marker. It's kind of hard to see on here because the silver kind of blends in, but I did sign this with a silver marker. So that's what I've done for my prints. So that's an idea. All right, so lastly, I decided to try something new. And I'm always telling my students, you know, try to print your photography and do these different things, and a lot of things, and the big buzzword right now is zine. So if you're not familiar with that, that's short for magazine. And then there's photo books. The problem with photo books is that they can get a little bit expensive, especially if you want to hand them out as gifts and things. So what I have done is did some research. Again, I was in the printing industry, so I started looking at different printers, specifically in the United States, that could do something that would not break the bank and that would be affordable enough. My goal for my photography is I wanted to make something that was affordable for just about anybody to buy. So it took some doing, but I found it. And this is what I just finished. And this is my copy, so it's a little bit beat up. But here it is. It's called Grains of Silver. This is my photo book, zine, whatever you want to call it. I called it a photo zine. So a couple of requirements that I had is I knew I wanted to do a black and white book. So, but you'll notice this black is really a black. And it may not show up too well in the video, but this is actually printed in full color, and that's how I got this black, really black. The other requirement that I had for myself is that I wanted the spine to be perfect bound, what they call perfect bound. So if you've ever bought a regular book from the bookstore, you will notice that it's nice and finished off and there's no staples or anything hanging out. So that's called perfect bound. What some people are doing for their zines or their finished product is what's called saddle stitching, and basically what that is after the printer prints your books, they open it up, well, the pages in the correct order, they take two or three staples, and they have a machine that goes through, will insert the staples, and they go out the outside. And then this is, instead of being a nice squared off finished edge, it's bent. So it's, if you imagine, you know, like more like this shape. And if that's okay, if that's what you want, that's a different look, and it's also a much cheaper option. So then what I did is I went in, as you can see, I designed the cover, and then here's the inside. And then what I do is when somebody buys these is I take my silver marker and I inscribe here and give them a thank you message, and, you know, appreciate for them supporting me. And I did something a little bit different than what some other photographers have done. Is what I had decided to do was put the photo on one side and then put the story and the process on the other. And then at the bottom, I also put the exposure information. Since I am doing film, a lot of people like to read about the reciprocity time. Some of these can take as much as 20 minutes I've done, and they just think that's fascinating. But I can't tell you how many people have wrote back and said, you know, I really like the fact that you took the time to write the stories and show exactly how this was done in a text as well as the picture on the next page. So that might be something that you might want to try with your project as well. Now this was basically my idea for this was kind of twofold. First of all, I wanted something that I could hand out to friends and family kind of as a gift. And I just thought, you know, this has got, by the way, this is 48 pages. It's 8.5, 11. And so there's 20 pictures in here, and then there's 20 stories, and the extra pages is, you know, like my intro, and then I've got on the back says many thanks. It takes a lot of silver to make a photograph, which is basically my way of saying, you know, thanks to everybody that helped to finish this project. I had an editor that helped me get everything the way it needed to be. So back to why did I want to do this project specifically for me? So what I decided I want to do is, again, give this out to friends and family, somebody that might want to, you know, doesn't want to buy 20 of these things or couldn't afford all this. So this is going to be a good price point to hand out to the family. And then the other thing is, because I'm trying to get some gallery representation, that's the next thing I'm going to be working on. I wanted something that I could send to galleries as a calling card type thing. Now, I have the photographers market, the 2018 photographers market. You can go and get that on online bookstore anywhere, and it's about this thick. And they've got it separated into art shows, galleries, greeting cards, calendars, all that kind of stuff. So I was looking at the gallery section in that book. And what I found out is, of course, all the galleries, they want some kind of portfolio. They want to see your work. So some of them said, you know, send us a few 8x10s and a portfolio, send us your portfolio, that kind of thing. So my immediate thought was to go back to this and start cranking these out and get some of the less pages. But after I started looking at the cost, I said, this is going to get expensive. So, and I could put some personalization on this, but this I thought would be a little bit better finished product, especially with the inside here. It's got all my logo and everything at the bottom. So that was the other reasoning, is to have this for friends and family and to have this for gallery representation. And I gotta tell you, I put the cover on Facebook. It just is this is something I'm working on, and it went nuts. People all over the world have bought this through my website. So that's something else to think about. If you have a website, I'm using WordPress site, and then I use a plugin called WooCommerce, which is free, that's hooked in with PayPal, that takes the orders. So again, I'll put links of all this stuff on the links below so you can check it out. The other thing I did on my website is I put a virtual copy so people can like flip through this digitally and look at it and see if it's something that they're interested in. So again, I'll put this links down below so you can check it out and see if it's something that you want to do. But yeah, so that's basically something I just want to go over today, is to think about printing your work in some sort of way. I think it really finishes it off, whether you want to do the, you know, the standard portfolio for yourself, whether you want to look at doing the greeting cards. Those are kind of easy and nice. And again, here's the set. So this can definitely all be done at your home. And these you can, of course, you can do at your house. So you can print out your photos on your inkjet printers and get the kits from clear bags. So that's pretty simple. This, I ended up using a company called Printing Center USA. So if you go to printingcenterusa.com, and I'll put that link down below, they were the ones that had all the requirements that I was looking for the paper, the printing, and the way that they proofed the product and sent me the proofs and was in contact. Everything was, they're really professional people to deal with. So they're not paying me to tell you this. It's, in fact, I have a link on that on my website. I liked them so much, I decided to send people their way just because they did such a great job. I'm actually on my second printing of this because it went so well the first time, and everybody just really likes the print quality. So that might be something that you might want to check out, is Printing Center USA, and they're in Montana. And for the price, I'll tell you, they're one of the more economical printers I've seen, because again, I didn't want to hand somebody a photo book and say, oh yeah, this is lovely, how much is it? I gotta tell them it's $100, because some of these other online photo book companies, they can be pretty expensive. So this is much cheaper option, and it looks really nice. And of course you can do full color on the inside as well. So yeah, so whatever you do, be sure to print your photos in some shape or form so you can share them. It's nice to hang on to something and just look at it. It doesn't require any electricity, it doesn't crash, it just you can lay it out on your coffee table, whether it's a couple of prints you've done yourself or if you want to do a book. So anyway, hopefully this helps. As always, I appreciate you watching. If you like this, I hope you might consider hitting the like button, and hopefully you might consider subscribing so you can see more of this content. As always, thanks for watching.